Stop playing with him, Riot.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a Ken. Like Jazzy, Stacy, Nicki. All of the Barbies is pretty. All of the Barbies is bad. It girls, and we ain't playing tag.
How do different kinds of gangs in the United States operate? What gangs are most dominant today? Welcome to my two-part series on organized crime. Last episode, I discussed gangs and criminal organizations during the Roaring '20s. But gangs have changed since then because originally they were family-run organizations. I'm unforgettable, but anyway, I'm Haley Harrison, reporting from Spoon River Valley Schools. And today, November 8th, I will be sharing with you how different gangs in the U.S. operate, and I will be giving out information about the most dominant gangs in the U.S. Organized crime laws were created in 1970 because it was difficult for the ringleaders to be charged with crimes, but many gangs still operate today. It's common for local gangs to deal with or cooperate with international gangs, cartels, and prison gangs to extend their global reach and gain power and money! What kind of gangs exist today? There are three types of gangs: prison gangs, street gangs, and motorcycle gangs. Prison gangs operate in prison and continue their activity and maintain control in prison. An inmate who wasn't already in a gang can find themselves in a position where they're forced to join a prison gang. Prison gangs can continue once the gang members are released. Motorcycle gangs, vroom vroom, historically were loose friend groups of veterans who shared interests in American motorcycles and hanging out. Today, some eminent motorcycle gangs like the Pageants and Outlaws still recruit people to the military for new members. The Outlaws have faced prosecution for racketeering charges, kidnapping, gambling, drug trafficking, and even attempting murder. Street gangs can be locally or nationally based. These gangs are often involved in street-level trafficking of drugs and might engage in violence like murder to maintain dominance of their territory. Some of the most compelling street gangs include MS-13 and Latin Kings, which I will be discussing. Conflicts between MS-13 and the 18th Street Gang have been especially savage in Los Angeles, California. The MS-13 has risen to prominence, though, and this helps make the Northern Triangle the most violent place in the world that is not at war. This area includes Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Numbers vary, but the U.S. Southern Command says it includes as many as 70,000 gang members. Their activities vary a lot from one region to another. Although there's operations in America, in Central America, the gang's reach and size is massive, and the operations are more diverse. The gang also has programs and cliques, which it becomes a ball of fire. MS-13 leaders can control the actions of the groups from afar. This extended structure makes the group resistant to any government putting the kibosh on them, making them one of the most dominant gangs. The Latin Kings are another prominent figure in the underworld. The Latin Kings set stages of kingism, which means that rules are more loose for members at the lower level, and violating them isn't as serious as it would be in cases of more established members. There are three stages of kingism: the primitive, conservative, and the new king stage. The primitive stage is the first stage and is a phase of immaturity in which the gang member spends his time gangbanging. The conservative stage is the second stage and describes a member who gets tired of the senseless dueling, hanging out on the corners, and being big and bad. The third and most mature stage is the new king stage, in which the gang member learns to appreciate life, work, and brotherhood. Males usually appear to dominate the gangland, but females are also present. Research even shows that girls had success in gaining status in gangs for a long time. Their crimes appear to be crimes that are typical for females, which include shoplifting, prostitution, running away, fighting with other girls, and crimes that are drug related. Many of these girls had poor relationships with their parents, some being abused, and, in several cases, disgusted parents threw their daughters out into the streets. Any girl who is treated that way needs a sense of stability, so they often look towards a partner. Most girl gangs prefer gang affiliated men and have voiced distaste for guys who prefer suits and ties. Those guys have lost their fashion sense. Some girlfriends of male gang members are concerned with their gangsta lifestyle and have even gotten them to leave the gang that they are participating in. A document based on research from California State University states, in the current study, males did not want the females vigorously participating with them in gang-related activities. As a matter of fact, many women nagged their boyfriends not to get involved in one incident or another, and many seemed to always be nagging their boyfriends about their gang-style way of life. Some women reportedly nagged their boyfriends until they got out of the gang. Many gangs exist across the country, and they all fight for the whip hand to gain control over the most territory, where territory wasn't really that important for organized crime groups during the Roaring Twenties. Certain gangs have really become big shots all across the world. Did you know that gangs even help protect neighborhoods by killing and getting rid of big threats? Gangs have methods and well thought out plans which help them to gain power. To be honest, they gained my favor and respect for these reasons. I hope you had a blast listening to my two-part podcast series on organized crime and gangs. This has really been a fun experience, and I thank my teacher, Mrs. Burdett, for giving me this opportunity. I would consider doing it again. I am Haley Harrison.
Treat me like white tees, don't get me dirty. Love on me, love on me. She cannot come with